Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Relationship Podcast. My name is Ken Hanneman, your host. And the topic today is protecting the self. So I'm not saying yourself, I'm saying the self. Based on what we've discussed before in the previous episode, we're talking about the spiritual self. Now that we know about the soul and we are now practicing meditation and we're developing this new identity of being peaceful, the freedom that we feel from the meditation, the independence, the autonomy, the feeling that there's clarity within us. We would like to protect that. So I would share from my experience how you can protect yourself or what I did that has actually served me well over the many years that I have been meditating. Because I started out pretty early. I was a teenager when I started studying Raj Yoga meditation. And it's not an easy journey because you do get influenced by the outside environment, company, the opinions of others, and then going to college and the demands of society and your role. You can sometimes get pulled into that physical materialistic world, and you can lose that access. You can lose that contact or that relationship you have with yourself. One of the method that I use is that every single day I will listen to spiritual teachings. And the morning classes and evening, morning classes mostly, they you constantly refreshing and going more in depth into knowledge of the soul and the philosophy of karma and how is it that ego can be confused with the self. And you want to avoid that confusion. You want to differentiate clearly who am I from the role that I'm playing, our body consciousness. So I would like to stay in that soul consciousness. I would like to maintain my peace no matter what is happening on the outside, right? So one method, as I said, is every day to feed the intellect with knowledge and to turn on that, think about that during the day. The next thing is to realize that the mind has a way of wandering. There can be distractions, or you feel like you're thinking of things that are not really necessary or appropriate. Maybe because of influence, because you might still have some interest in things going on around you. There might be things even related to vice that can pull your addictions. So, what you do with the knowledge is that you bring the intellect, the mind back to what you've been taught or the things that you've been studying, and you will, rather than the mind wandering, you will think about it. And it is possible to take time out during the day. It might be 5 minutes or 3 minutes or, whatever time you have. You sit quietly for a little while and let your mind be restful, pull it away from the world, and sort of go deep within, get back in touch with the soul, with the self, with your peace, with your calm, with the awareness that you are self aware and you have a divine nature and your nature is peace. As the intellect gets stronger and as you're able to review the situations that might defeat you from time to time, you can review that in the moments that you feel powerful in your meditation, or you feel okay, and you can come up with a solution. You can come up with a new way of handling that challenge. Somebody says something, something happens, the news, the media, whatever, and rather than getting dragged into it emotionally and getting upset or disturbed, you can train yourself to not being overexposed to these things or to a bad company. So the other method is to churn or to think about these things and take time out, which is called control. Take time out every hour or whenever you get a chance. Sit quietly and bring yourself back to your center. Another method that I really like is to keep good company. So in the evening, I would try to be with people who share these values and are also studying and who are probably at your level. Whether when you're very serious about learning, then you want to be with those who are also very strong in their effort and those who can inspire you or guide you or can answer a question. In yoga, in meditation, you will be able to feel that you're not the body and that you are a being that is not physical. Therefore, you would think of the self. And this lesson would be the three worlds, where you move into an awareness of yourself being a being of light. Like I mentioned, thinking of the self as an angel. Visualize that, feel it. And when we use the word angel, we're talking about you, yourself. You don't have wings. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an awareness of a self, of being, of having compassion and being benevolent and caring and practicing in your mind, in your thoughts, feelings of selflessness, and sharing that through your visualization, imagination. You're sharing that with the world and others. So you're sitting in meditation, but you're doing this through your mind. And gradually, as you get deeper into it, as you're pulled into that experience, you become the embodiment of that awareness of yourself as being an angel or being having these qualities that are helpful to mankind. You start to enjoy it, the feeling of it, the depth of it. It brings about transformation within you. So the more I practice meditation, I am developing a resource. I'm developing an escape into a world where I am not influenced by the outside world. So that's another form of protection. The other method that I use is to believe. I do believe in God. I believe in the, but not in that, in how religion makes it out to be, that he's some. I don't see God as someone who is there looking and judging and punishing. I Something like this. Let's say if you look at the sun, right, or nature generally, they're very benevolent. Nature is very benevolent. Doesn't ask for anything, just give, non-judgmental. So my concept of God is that He is the supreme soul, the supreme being, but He's constant in His benevolence, and He's always available. And whenever I choose to remember, and I try to increase the amount of time that I spent in that remembrance, to experience Him in different relationships as my father, my teacher or guide, um, as a friend, as the teacher, like He's teaching, He's guiding. And I find when when my mind is quiet, when it's very calm, and you speaking to yourself, about being in these relationships, and you're trying to experience that, and as you practice, it grows. It becomes real to you. It actually becomes more supportive and empowering than with human relationship that might be transactional, that might be filled with or mixed with a lot of negativity. Um, so I would prefer to have a relationship. I mean, I'm not giving up on human relationship. I would like to serve other human beings, but I would like to have this relationship with that higher power. Because I don't see him as one who's punishing. I don't even ask like, no, can you give me money or give me this or that? I see it like it's like a relationship of a friend. He is the almighty authority, but he's there to make me a better person. He's there to guide me. I have to do the work, but he's there to teach and guide and help and provide emotional support that you need. So that's another form of self-protection. Another form of self-protection is doing elevated karma or good action. And I just mentioned a few things you can practice in meditation of using your mind to give good wishes and good feelings towards others and nature and your body. Your body is nature. And and if you can help in terms of words and advice, teaching, and maybe even help physically, if you can, you don't have to cut your nose off to spoil your face. You don't you're not trying to beg for acceptance or for approval. You are serving from your state of fullness, from your state of a caring heart, that you do things without expecting. That's elevated karma. Elevated karma is when you do something without expecting anything in return, like selfless. And what it does is that it does come back to you. Any action that is done in this awareness actually it lasts forever. Like it creates a personality, a nature in you that will endear you to others, and you'll never be alone, and you'll find that life becomes easier and lighter. And even when things happen on the outside, you learn how to fortify the mind from these external disturbances. You learn how to observe, but don't absorb, don't get involved. Many things are happening we have no control over. So we should be able to identify that and not to engage it. Be honest with yourself. And with that, you will find that you will have emotional maturity. You will be empowered to maintain your peace, maintain your strength. You'll be stable. And then you'll be able to be like a light to the people around you. So, with that, I would close. And for those who are interested in online classes, free online classes, and meditation commentary, you can click on the link in the description, and you will get access to that. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.